with Intermountain Healthcare.
Nicole Sutherland is a certified clinical genetic counselor for Intermountain Healthcare, here to share how a genetic counselor can help you navigate your healthcare journey. Nicole, welcome. So happy that you are here. This is fascinating.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's great to be here.
Will you start by explaining to us what a genetic counselor is, what they do?
Yeah, so the best, simplest way to say it is that genetic counselors really help people understand genetic information.
So who should be seeking this out? Somebody who maybe has a history of health issues in their family, or somebody who is just wanting to be preventative?
Yeah, we see people from all of those backgrounds, but mainly in healthcare, we are focusing on people who either have some kind of disease themselves or they have a really strong history in their family of certain diseases. So I myself work with cancer patients, and so most of the time I'm seeing either people with cancer or I'm seeing people in their family who are interested to learn more about their potential risks.
Okay, so both yes. Come into you. Somebody who's maybe experiencing a recent diagnosis, or somebody who, again, just wants to make sure maybe that it's not going to be passed down.
Exactly, yep. Seeing people from both backgrounds.
Okay, so say somebody comes in and they say, I have a parent who has cancer, or it runs in my family. What's the first thing you will do with them to look into that?
Thank you so much for asking. So it's Family Health History Month, and that is exactly the first focus that we have, is that we do a really in-depth discussion on family health history. And so before the appointment even happens, we are asking people to have conversations with their relatives about health history and really making sure people understand what has been going on in their relatives' health.
Oh, that's such a good tip. So you can come in and be prepared. So
Yes.
Talk to your parents, talk to your grandparents, find
Yes.
out what's gone on both sides of your family.
Exactly, yep.
It's really interesting to read some of this information. If your family does have cancer in the family, it could hit other relatives at a younger age.
That's true.
Why
yes.
is that?
So when cancer is hereditary, what I mean by that is that people can be born essentially with a genetic difference that predisposes them to getting cancer. And so when that's the case, we often see cancers happening at younger ages. Usually if somebody has this genetic predisposition, it's not uncommon to see cancers happen earlier than we might otherwise expect.
And then a genetic test can also tell you if you are carrying that predisposition for certain cancers.
Right. So there is a lot of genetic testing out there. So one of the things that we do is we talk to people about what their options are for genetic testing and what kind of information that could give them. And so that's often a lot of the discussion we're having with people, is what genetic testing is available to them and how that can help them with understanding their risks for cancer.
There is so much to learn and so many options. So maybe you have something else in the family besides cancer. Maybe you have another autoimmune disease or something going on. There are doctors who can help and see if that's a factor potentially for you too.
Right. So there's genetic counselors across multiple sectors in Intermountain Healthcare. And in Utah, really, there's genetic counselors that can help families with cardiovascular conditions. We have genetic counselors for general genetics that cover things like neurology, and then we have prenatal genetic counselors as well. So I think that's one of the biggest things, is people aren't aware that, or understand that genetic counselors are here and available to help answer these questions.
I think it's incredible, and I had no idea until I started to read through this last night, and I was fascinated to talk to you. And we sat down, and the first thing I said is, who should come to you? Should everybody come and find out? Right. But I guess the first step is do that research, talk to your family.
Exactly.
And then if you feel like there could be even a little possibility, come and get that knowledge. Knowledge is power.
Yes, yeah, and talk to your doctor. You know, if you feel like something's going on in your family, a good place to start is talking to your doctor. You can also visit our website at intermountainhealthcare.org/genomics, and it has a lot of information on what kind of history is important to focus on. Those kinds of things. So.
Perfect. The website was just up there on our screen, and we will put it up on our website again as well. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Great information. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for that sponsored segment. All right, Nish.